Welcome aboard, one of the best weeks of the year. Nice to be back, and I picked the right weekend to return because it is, of course, you know by now, Mark Hughes Foundation round, and it's been going for a while now. Joel Kane, Sean Ormerod, hello to you. How long's it been going? It's got to be a decade plus.
Almost, into our ninth year. Yep. So 2017 it started. It feels like the annual Crime Stoppers mugshot for me with the beanie and the beard on, getting some funny looks as I walk down the street. But hats off, no pun intended, because they have to reinvent the wheel essentially every year. They keep coming up with good designs somehow.
Yes.
So, and you've got a head that suits a beanie, Dan.
Big.
No.
Big. Oh, really? Okay.
No, I think that suits you.
There's the cool way to wear it, which I can certainly never pull off, where you pull it back a bit.
No.
Oh, look at the bank robber here. Look at the bank
I've got a head that suits a beanie.
Joel Kane. All right.
Doing comedy now.
So that is the... Now, we're not supposed to say that, but that would be more of your female version.
Oh,
well, but hey,
I like it. This is my
2025,
choice.
Dan.
Pom-poms?
Yep.
Well, he can wear a pom-pom, and you know why? He referred to something, he educated us, called the gilet. What's a gilet? And he did it with the accent. It's a puffer jacket vest. Because my idea is, I think we can branch out. Like, everyone's in love with these, but at some point, can you branch out?
Love that.
And I thought the Mark Hughes Foundation winter jacket, and you said gilet.
I said a gilet would be
How would you
perfect.
spell gilet?
You spell gilet, G-I-L, I think it's one L.
Solid T for sure.
E-E-T.
Yeah, he knows how to spell it. Don't be
I guarantee you there's more people watching this that call it a gilet than don't.
Okay, I'll ask you this.
No way. It's a
blokes-
puffer vest.
This is a real test for you, Dan Ginnane, because you would have been one of the top students at Coggramaris Brothers in English.
52 HSC, I don't think so.
You know when people say zhuzh it up? Zhuzh it up.
Yeah, zhuzh.
How do you spell zhuzh?
S-Z, zhuzh. I don't know.
We all say it, but I don't think anyone knows how to spell
You know
it.
the answer? You're
It's
going to
either
tell
No,
us?
I don't. I've got no idea.
Zhuzh. Well, there's certainly a Z, like Jar Jar Gabor, Z-S-O-O-S-H.
There's a Z for sure. I don't know the answer.
Zhuzh it. Anyway,
Where to from here?
Beanies for brain cancer. And Mark Hughes, of course, a friend of Sportsbet.
Yeah.
Was here for a long time. In fact, when he came down with brain cancer, which thankfully he was at Sportsbet, and from that moment, Sportsbet's very much been behind the cause.
So just on the history, so ninth year, we're on track. Given how the try scoring rates have trended this year, sort of mid-60s per round, that will tick us over $600,000. Sportsbet donated to the Mark Hughes Foundation in those 9 years. So incredible effort. Put the tackling bags away. Been saying it for a while. And Shug, I think you've got an announcement to make regarding certain types of bets.
Oh, yes.
That we're putting a line through.
Yes, just for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Just celebrate missed tackles. We're fine with that in Beanie for Brain Cancer round. Mark Hughes Foundation. There is a market on the NRL Weekly Hub where you can select which team scores the most tries in round 17, i.e. the Mark Hughes Foundation round. I reckon $18.
Yeah,
And I've popped it up on the feed.
You're looking well down the
Gold Coast Titans. $18.
Yeah,
what I was trying to refer to, though, no unders bets this week.
Banned from the show.
Oh, yeah.
No unders bets.
Yeah,
Banned.
that's a very good idea. What is my bet? I better check my best bet because that's my favourite bet, the unders bet. But I haven't gone the unders bet.
You can disguise bet types as sort of under-ish, but there are no unders bets.
Okay.
All right. Don't forget, back Sunday night, 8:20. 8:20, we're back on Sunday night on Fox League with the review show. Now, I thought about this, a great time to talk about Top Tryscorer because it is an unbelievable Melbourne Cup style field. We've got 20 within 2 of the lead or 3 of the lead, certainly 20 are in touch, all because Pappenhausen has stopped scoring them. His man Jesse Arthurs has been put on the other wing. So now we've got a situation where a lot of players are very much in the mix. So Pappenhausen's leading on 12, then we've got 6 players on 11, and then we've just put on screen all the favourites.
There needs to be a punting style Royal Commission, and it needs to go up there in Brisbane. And we need to call Madge before the Royal Commission and ask him and get a proper answer. Why the hell has he moved Jesse Arthurs from left to right, Joel Kane? Because if you add Karapani's numbers to your man paint a picture,
Yeah, it's all she wrote.
he's on 15 or 16, isn't he? Jesse's on 11. Is that
I'm
right?
looking at it now. So
Here it is.
Jesse's still one off the lead. Alex Johnston is rocketed.
11 off 7.
Oh,
11
unbelievable.
off 7.
Where's the try-scoring freak? I'm scrolling down. I tell you what, folks.
I think you and I are going to be aligned here.
Yeah, we're aligned.
AFK, AKB,
Yeah,
AKB.
9 in 9, because he hasn't played that much.
Yep.
And the point I made, I've already put it on the feed, it was $26. I think it's come in a little. No matter how bad the Titans are, he scores tries.
Which is usually baked into that market is you sort of need to be in an okay team. Like when Alex Johnston has been winning those awards, they've been winning enough games. Not the case for the Titans. And it's we still need a name for that, Shug.
Yeah.
Noted try scorer, big outsider, rubbish team. It doesn't matter. He just finds a way.
Now, is that your pick? Because I've got another one.
I think Karapani can actually win it himself.
What?
Oh, wow. That's 100 to 1.
He must be on. He's on 5. He's only.
What, so he's 7 behind?
Sean,
Yeah.
he's 7 off the lead.
He's in for a hat trick this weekend.
Well,
Hand in glove.
Wow.
is he even on the market?
Wow.
He's about
He's
to
in the
be.
market. I like Mark Nwanganita-Waze. He's 13. I think he's come in a bit too, but he's $13. I don't. He's 11 tries, so he's 1 off the lead. He scores his own. He gets his own tries. He doesn't need great. Roosters have got enough attack. Roosters are getting better, and he's now on the wing permanently with Dom Young out. I think that's incredible value. There it is. So on screen, Johnston the favourite at $6.50. Pappenhausen at 7. He hasn't scored in 4 games. Arthur's $7.50. That's too short. Hammer $8. Geez, Hammer can be iffy. Nwanganita-Waze and Coates at 3rd. Well, Hammer.
How did you get that drive-by in on Hammer then? That was.
It feast or famine a bit.
Well,
Well,
let
he
me
was
tell you about the Hammer.
famine on the weekend.
In fact, I'll get back to the Hammer when we get to that game.
All right.
What about a wild card?
Well, he's had his wild card.
A wild card. Look, Dan, you make a very good point. There are 13 players within 2 tries.
Arthur Sharp, Nwanganita-Waze, Hammer are all 1 off the lead. It's like a golf tournament.
Yeah.
Young, Xavier Coates, Taruva, Iro, Farnworth, Anderson, Shibasaki. Shibasaki could be sneaky.
He's a sneaky.
He's 2 off
Reece
the lead.
Walsh loves the left.
Sloan, don't worry about him. He's in and out of the team.
He's the wild card.
Pereira.
Sloan?
Is he the wild card?
He's not even in the team.
He's not in a team.
I wouldn't mind knowing who he's playing.
By the way, a lot of
Oh,
people have asked me,
geez.
they said, if he goes to another team, do his tries carry over? The answer is
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's the player. Doesn't matter what jersey you wear.
Sloan, Khan Pereira, Savage, Bostock is out. They're all on 9. Kohler's on 9. Talangi's on 9. Then you got Azarko is one of those on 8. Can I tell my Azarko story now? I came in here after round 4, really chest puffed out. I've got one over you. Dolphins aren't that bad. I've got Azarko, $34 to be top point scorer. And you boys have gone, top point scorer. You guys go, geez, how did you get that? I said, I don't know, but I looked a few weeks later when the Dolphins started getting hot. He was still $34. I thought, geez, hang on. Sportsbet's made an error. Sportsbet stuffed up. No, Sportsbet didn't stuff up. The idiot punter stuffed up. Top try scorer.
Oh, Dan.
So he's 4 off the lead. So it would be the great accidental get of all time. But anyway, so my pick is Nwanganita-Waze with Khan Pereira as the spare. What's your pick?
I'm going Karapani from the
That
clouds.
can't be your pick. And
I'm still painting pictures with Jesse. I have to stay with him. Too many punters are on him for me to desert them.
Okay.
It's not the Titanic just yet.
Penrith and Canterbury make up. Anyway, it's a great market. Penrith and Canterbury, first game.
Wow.
This is a cracker. I think the whole complexion of the comp might change based on this game if Penrith do a number on Canterbury. Sean, I can't believe Penrith's getting 3.5 start. I respect Canterbury. This is not an anti-Canterbury slant. Burton's back. Mann is back. Sorensen's out for Penrith. That's actually that's a bigger out than we give credit for, but Cleary is going to play. So this market went up on Sunday night. It was about 3.5, and it hasn't moved. And Cleary was very much in doubt then, and Penrith insist he's going to play here. I'm stunned by this market.
I'm tipping when the draw came out and Mark Hughes looked at when's Beanie for brain cancer around, he saw this was the first game of the round to get the Sportsbet $1,000 per try, as we were sort of alluding to. This screams an unders sort of game.
Yeah.
Total being found, 42.5. That's as low as it gets pretty much in 2025 football. We're going to get slammed. There's one bloke that lurks around the YouTube comments. I'm not going to say his name, but he knows who he is. And every week,
What do you come up with?
I bet you they tip against the Bulldogs. They're Bulldogs haters. They're Bulldogs haters. They're Bulldogs. No, we're not. I actually I have a very large soft spot for the Bulldogs, but we tip against the line.
Yeah, the line's wrong.
I can only go on what I'm presented here, and this looks like an old-fashioned toss the coin game when you're getting a couple of points on your side. With a team, I know Cleary potentially a little bit banged up. This is the last club game before Origin selections. I think he's going to want to show something. I think this is an old-fashioned doozy, Sugar.
Ooh, okay.
Agree, disagree?
What's the bloke's name or girl's name from YouTube?
I can't remember. I can't actually remember. It's a long... There's numbers involved. So it's probably some robot from Russia.
Why are you looking at the comments? Why invite disappointment into your life? Anyway.
Long numbers, robot, I'm with you. I think the Bulldogs are in for a big game here. This is the one they've had circled. Serraldo yet to beat Cleary, and this is the one. So many ex-players here. If they are legit, this is the kind of game. They have to find a way and win the game. I'm on the doggies, Dan, and I can't wait for this game. I want to talk about defensive numbers, and this is why this competition is so wide open. So this has been the numbers and the tail of the tape so far. In recent years, to win the comp, you need to average about 13, 14 points, and this has gone for about a decade. The number one team in defence right now is Canterbury, just under 18. Penrith, despite their year, they are still around 22 and number 5 in the land. So these numbers alone tell me this comp is way up for grabs.
And the last 3 games, Penrith have only conceded 42 points, so that's 14
a game.
So they're starting to get back to what to remember them for. Sorry to that Bulldogs hater. I'm on Penrith here, but again, only because of the line. I think it's a complete toss-up.
Yep.
Some stats. Penrith won their last 3. Tom Jenkins, first try scorer last 2. First try scorer last 2 games. Canterbury coming off the bye. Canterbury, this is an odd one, but it's rained in every one of the last 4 games. Their dry weather record, 7-0. I don't know if that means anything. I think that's a bit of dumb luck. Not dumb luck, but 7-0 in the dry. Burton back and Mann back. And your flair.
Combank Stadium, for me, just quickly, a little bit of a worry. Now, they've been there all year. It's nothing new, but they played 4 times there as the home listed side. Big favourites in all of them. Have only won Penrith. They've only won one of those games. So we generally bake a bit of home ground advantage into it. I don't think there's any there for the Panthers.
Well, I don't think there'll be much of a crowd.
No.
As good as the
matchup is. It's going to be freezing cold Thursday
But I think
night.
it'll be a Canterbury crowd.
Probably.
Well, there won't be much of a crowd for this.
Thursday. It won't get 20. I hope it does.
This should sell out. Seriously. If we're
Sell out.
Thursday night.
What do you mean sell out?
Thursday night.
It's going to be 7 degrees by kickoff or something.
But it should sell out.
I agree. Get your beanies and get there. Stay warm. My flair, worried about the total, so forget about just the flat out any time or 2 or more. We go the almond latte first, second or third. Why am I going Bulldogs despite sort of sticking up for the Panthers? They like to score down the right-hand side of the field, which bucks the trend of the NRL. 7% or thereabouts better than the NRL average down that side of the field. And the Panthers, I think they're going to go after Milky, Blaze, Talangi, Casey McLean, that side of the field. Kiraz first, second or third for me.
Okay, very good. We go to Friday night. Now, I said on the show on Sunday I was going to be all over the West's Tigers because and in fact they've blown out in the market. Manly West Tigers at 4 points. I changed my mind because I've looked at now that Tom Joel has been moved to the centres and Lehigh is at 1. I really like Manly here. Garrick onto the wing. Tigers have lost Jareem Buller. Latu Fainu the half. Heath Mason goes to fullback. Tigers have lost 5 straight. They've conceded the first try in 6 straight. Manly have actually, despite their iffy form, have scored first 5 straight games, first try. And what about this for a stat? The last 8 Manly first try scorers are either a winger or a centre. Like, all 8, winger or centre, which we'll get to my best bet a little bit later. I was confident about the Tigers. I think Manly might have a rare good day here at Brookie, even though I think it might be a low crowd, low atmosphere Brookie game.
I was very hot on the Tigers, but then Jareem Buller comes out, and I was like, Ola Kawadu is a big out, gents. I don't think they've won Manly without Ola Kawadu for a few years. Admittedly, he's played a lot of games.
No.
But he's a big out. They're rolling the dice here on Tommy, who, by the way, where will he play? With left,
right centre is where it has been reported. It doesn't mean he will play there, but suggested right centre, and Garrick goes to right wing.
Yeah.
Now again, don't take our word for it because it's obviously we won't know until they take to the field. I love this guy, Hopewadi at 1. My fear, Joel, about Manly is they are looking like they're imploding.
Yep.
And I don't think Tom's very happy about being moved to centres. I didn't get a lot of love from him when he did that press conference. It didn't feel like a joint decision.
What did you make of the speed dating halfway check-in with all the players? They did like a mid-year review.
7 minutes.
Sorry? 7 minutes, so it was speed dating. And Tommy was a little bit cagey with his response on that occasion. Look, yeah.
What do you mean? What?
So every player had to go into, I don't know who it was.
Talk to each other.
No, with
This is story.
Yes.
So Seabold sat down with every player, allegedly or reportedly.
Yeah, reportedly.
For 6 or 7 minutes each. It was
Speed
like a
dating.
speed dating thing, getting the intel.
How do you think you're going, Dan? What do you think you can improve on? 7 minutes, bzz, next.
Well, footballers have
Different.
short attention spans. By the way, we don't do markets on sack coaches. There's too many noises coming out of Manly. Too many noises.
Yes.
That's going to happen.
Yes.
The question is not if Anthony Seabold goes, and it's unfortunate, but when. You agree? Too much is coming out.
Yeah.
They've set the table too well, Manly.
I actually believe Tony Mestrov. I actually believe that it is still unknown. I reckon he's got a month. If he can turn things around in a month, and this game is critical.
Well,
This one and the next one. They got South, I think, the next one.
He needs to
Those
win.
two.
He needs to win them both and win both
Yeah.
comprehensively.
There's a lot of things here. So they've been terrible favourites this year. 9 games they've started favourites. They've covered 2. They've lost their last 5 games when they've been favourite. Now that includes away games as well. But in games where they're expected to win, they don't turn up. You've got all this off-field stuff, which you just hate. When you want to back a team that's giving away points, they've got to cover a start here. You don't want off-field rubbish. There's all of that. There's this Cherry Evans stuff still lurking in the background. There's coach stuff. The turbo to centres is still a bit of an unknown. I know we've seen him in a handful of games for New South Wales, but you are talking, that was a complete freak of a team that he was playing in there, and he was at the peak of his powers. He's not there. There is just so many question marks that I'll take that you don't want to be all over the West Tigers now and give it to me. I'm so keen on West here.
Well, you're certainly getting a good price. Joel, I can't work out the Tigers. Are they fool's gold in that they'll tease you, they'll get close, they're having a go. They're one of those teams that absolutely having a crack.
So I'll tell you what will happen. In the first half, if they come out and don't play Benji ball, and that is offloading and moving the ball around and try and play like a team that they aren't, and because they'll be down 18-6 or something at half, so my head will fall off. Play to your strengths. You don't have to play like the Panthers or the Bulldogs and be a little bit more conservative, because this kid, in that second half last week...
You could tell he's the future.
And you said it great during the call.
What did you say, Dan? You can tell what?
He's the future.
Yeah, and you said you're getting a glimpse of the future right now for West Tigers, and that was perfect because that's his... And even I was getting
Did
excited.
I say that?
Yeah.
God, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it got me excited, not even a West Tigers supporter. Like, if they play to their strengths, which is a bit of flair, yeah, I think they can.
A big in as well.
Then
Brian
they can win.
Fletcher calls him South. Number 10.
Ole.
Oh, Pole. Ball there.
Ole. Mate, he's a big in. He's a good player.
Huge.
The De Silva at 14 again.
Yeah.
How many minutes is he in for?
None.
Without any HIAs or anything?
None. I don't know what's going on there. That's anyway. I had my say on.
I hope
Sunday.
Tony Sooker's in for minutes, because last time I saw him play, well, not play, Combank Stadium, and the lights are about to come off. And Tony Sooker had spent the whole game on the bench, didn't get on, and they're about to turn it. All the goalpost pads, they're all off, and then there goes Tony
He's
Sooker.
running laps.
The crowd's left. He's doing laps. That is rank, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's tough.
always happens. Always when you do the post game for radio, you always
That's
see
tough.
those blokes. Mate, the worst one was the Roosters were playing someone at the Footy Stadium, so the members still had about 500 people having their last drinks, and it was, I think, the Melbourne Storm and the blokes doing it, and just the drunk Roosters fans.
That's cruel.
Giving it to them. I've got the flair for this game. Now that stat where Manly, when they score first, it's always winger or centre. Ruben Garrick. Tom Trbojevic, right centre. This is what I'm banking on. Trbojevic, right centre. Garrick, right wing. $9. First, I don't love first try scorer because it's really all or nothing, but that's where I'm going here. Friday, 8 p.m. You would look at this game and think, gee, that's not that exciting. Knights and Raiders. You give me Canberra Raiders at 8 p.m. every Friday, Joel, and I'm pretty happy. They are an exciting fun team to watch.
Absolutely. And well done to the Raiders. Now, Shawnee, if the coach award was decided upon against the line or maybe on where the punters thought at the start of the year their team may run, Ricky Stewart's got a major case to win the Coach of the Year. Major case.
It's already in the cabinet at home, isn't it?
I don't know about that.
I think it might be.
There's a lot of great contenders.
There are, but if you to go on your criteria of where they were sort of pegged to pick, and I'll put my hand up, I had them sort of going somewhere around the bottom four. They've clearly outperformed what I think the whole world had them going against. And if you're using that, that's probably the best criteria.
Yep.
Bulldogs, they were tipped to go pretty good. There's the usual suspects thereabouts. I think Sticky has to win it, doesn't he?
Depends what Andrew Webster does this last part of the year. If he gets them close or near to the Raiders, he's got a massive case.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, this game itself, the Knights, they're still around the Knights. We've always talked about them in negative terms. What about their last 3 games? Manly, they win in Golden Point. Roosters, they lose on a dud try against them late in the game. Dolphins, they win on the last play of the game. Unbelievable run.
Yeah.
Where all 3 have gone right down to the finish. Jackson Hastings is in for Fletcher Sharp. Boy, that ruptured spleen.
Oh,
does that not sound like the most painful of all the injuries?
It sounds horrific. Ruptured anything, but there's something about the word spleen. It sounds very, very painful.
It just sounds like a car accident. So
Yeah,
that's terrible, and we wish him all the best. Seriously, wish him all the best. That's a nasty one. I know he's not anyone's cup of tea at times, it seems, Hastings. I don't mind him in the 17 here for Newcastle. It's a big loss to have Sharp. Canberra flying, won 5 straight, 10 of their last 11. They're great in tight games, 5-0. I know you're sceptical of that, Sean, but it is an art. The Knights scoreless at half-time in more than half their games. Scoreless at half-time in more than half their games. They have lost Hudson Young, the Raiders. Where are you going here?
Well, I'm going with the home dog, one of my staples. I'll be with Newcastle. They're a bit unlucky, the Knights, because that was last weekend was probably the first time of season 2025 that they were able to field probably their best 13, if not 17.
$3.90. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's retro bet. It's the absolute bet of the year. Yeah. Over there in Perth, neutral turf, they had picked off a few easy beats, you might say. So it was cherry ripe. They get to go back home. Fletcher Sharp out. He's massive. I think he's more important to their makeup now than Kalen Ponga, how that team sort of looks on paper.
Well, he scores about 30% of their
He
drives.
does. So immediately they have to find something there. But at night, cold, winter, 8.5.
Yep.
Yes, please.
I'm pointing to you because you've got a very interesting stat for us, Joel.
Yes, we'll lead to our flair. It's just an observation, really. This is not so much a stat, but the Raiders, and this is not just the Raiders, this is one thing that I look for each and every round. We're a team, and nobody ran harder than me at the buffet. At the buffet, okay? Make sure you clip that part up, at the buffet. And it's very hard when you're on the road back-to-back. So they've done it 3 times this year where they've been asked to go away. And when I say away, I mean travelling in a big way. They were beaten by the Cowboys. Yeah. Yes, they beat the Gold Coast Titans, but they trailed 16-0. And they had a major assignment against the Roosters. So on all occasions, I think they hadn't led at halftime in any of those games. I'm going the flair, and you mentioned the form of the Newcastle Knights. Hudson Young's a big out.
Huge.
They're on the road again. They owe the Knights something at home. They really do owe the very loyal faithful $3.16 Knights to go back-to-back.
I'll say this.
Tippy-toed over the $3.
We've talked about their coach. We've talked about their dramas. They've never stopped trying, the Knights.
Yep. Do you like it or not?
Love it.
Yep.
Oh, that's his manna from heaven, the home underdog. Now, great Saturday coming up. I can't wait for this. Broncos Warriors is the 3 p.m. game, and then Dolphins South at the same ground later on. But Broncos Dolphins, this is Saturday, 3 p.m. They'll get 40,000 here. Kurt Capel in for the Warriors. Wateni Zelezniak is out. Broncos, they won last week in a high scorer. They've won their last 2. Shibasaki has scored doubles in his last 2. Warriors, they haven't lost 2 straight all year. And remember, they're coming off a loss to Penrith. They beat the Broncos 20-18 in round 7. In Australia, 6-1. This feels like a momentous game. A momentous game. Top 4's up for grabs here. Much like the Penrith-Canterbury game, you feel like the structure of the 2025 competition is going to change based on this game.
Massive, yeah. Look, the betting, what it is now, looks about right. Broncos are favourites. about a converted try or something around that looks absolutely nailed on for me. What I do hope though is that last week's line breaks they conceded against the Sharkies was just a little blip on the radar. We did a deep dive last week, and their stats conceding line breaks is actually pretty good up until that point. Then they gave away 9, but they made 11 themselves, and this suits them to a T. It's Saturday afternoon footy at Suncorp. It was the same scenario last week. They can get their points on. They have to play Broncos footy.
Well, what have you got? You've got some supporting evidence.
Yeah, so we like hand in glove. Shug,
Yep.
where a team likes to attack down a certain side of the field. For that, it's the Broncos, and it is for most teams in the NRL. So what I like to do is look at how they're comparing against the NRL average. So bottom of the screen is Broncos attack. They score more than half of their tries on the left. That's about 6.5% more than the NRL average. Look at where the Wars concede. Well, it's on their right-hand side, more than half come down that side of the field. And again, 7.5% more than the NRL average. Where am I going? No, it's not Jesse Arthurs, unfortunately. Josiah Karapani will be my flair, and we're seeing some vision here. We're about to see some vision of this exact hand in glove scenario. When they go left, they score. This is the Broncos.
Yeah.
And the other side of the field.
There's the Warriors defending.
This is last week where Milky had a field day, which is having a big field day this year. That's the Wars right-hand side of the field conceding, and Karapani there going over from a big Reese-Walsh cutout as well. It's their pet play. I think if they get enough ball, the Broncos, dry track Saturday afternoon, they can really trouble the Warriors. Having said that, as I said, the betting looks pretty spot on, Shug.
This really agitates me when we keep seeing this hand in glove. It appears a lot. When there's a hand in glove, it is invariably a left side attacking team versus a right side defending team.
Yep.
This is so hand in glove. Therefore, Coach Webster, he has to almost say, listen, I'll be celebrating, and vested interest, mind you, if Jesse Arthurs gets 2 on the other side.
I'll see what you're doing here.
No, but you can't keep giving left-sided sides
Yeah.
that number. Like, if they keep getting it, eventually it's on you, the coaching staff.
Push over.
Don't you think, or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Sugar.
Yes.
Yes.
It kills me.
Just don't do it this weekend, because I've got Josiah Karapani 2 or more tries for my Ricardo of the flair.
All right. Who wins the game?
Broncos. But as I said, the betting, they're giving up about a converted try.
Yeah, I don't like the line here.
They were awful
You know
last week.
what I could get
But
around?
they won the game. They were poor.
Yeah, they were. You know what I could get around? I could get around a Broncos margin. I could get around a Broncos margin.
Well, Beanie for brain cancer round. Maybe, hopefully they win
Yep.
100 to 90.
So
Well, that'd be something.
that would be. I'd love to call a game 100 to 90. All right, we go to the middle game. St George Illawarra and Parramatta. You know, Parramatta's not that bad. Dylan Brown is back. I mean, they won last week without Brown or Moses. Riley Smith is out. That's a big one. Will Penasini is out. Christian Tuipulotu returns, and I'll get to that in my flair. Emre Gula, game 100. Dave Clemmer, game 250. Dragons coming off a bye, but they were absolutely awful the 2 before that, conceding 86. Rematch, Broncos. Eels beat the Dragons 23-22 in round 5, Golden Point. They've won 4 straight against the Dragons. And Joel, against the bottom 9 this year, Parramatta are 5-3.
Is that right?
So they can knock off beatable teams. The game is in Wollongong, though.
Yep. If you're buying shares right now for what does that team look like in 12 months, I reckon most would go with whom?
Oh, Parramatta.
Parramatta.
100%.
Parramatta, you've got this, there's a lot of energy here as far as Lomax and ex-Drag, and he goes back to the home place, the former home place. You've got Nathan Brown, who's the assistant coach of the Parramatta Eels, former Dragons, great. You've got Jason Riles, former St George Illawarra Dragons, great as well. And hell hath no fury like a scorned ex. Check this out, folks. So they were both great. Lomax in the number 4. He wears number 5 this time around. But he got the match-winning field goal, 20 carries, 84 post-contact metres, and that game pretty much locked him into a New South Wales jumper. Clint Gutherson, who was that close to getting man of the match, 2 tries, 4 line breaks. Both these 2 guys are in for an absolute field day. Player combos, it's not my flair, but have a look at these 2 to combine for X tries. Daniel, you've got the flair.
Well, Tuipulotu just scores a lot when he plays, whether they're good or bad. And we'll get to that in a moment as we look at some these are the highlights from what was a great game, a Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. Now, take note, weather could be a factor in Wollongong. Saturday is expected to be iffy, which makes me worry a bit about. I picked this before I looked at the weather, which is that's on me. Tuipulotu and Isaiah Yongi to combine for 3 tries And I just like the price, $5.50. Yongi is everywhere at the moment
Airborne.
for Parramatta.
Just watch out. You want to look at the windsock when Fox League, when the pictures start rolling in. That windsock will be working very hard on that hill. I think kicking conversions might be very, very tricky. So we're going to see tries. We might not necessarily see it sail over the total.
It's the one ground where you want to be there and see who wins the toss. Yeah. And then maybe your half-time, full-time doubles.
Just on that, right, and this is not to degrade our great goal kickers, but it's probably no surprise that...
Sounds like you're about to.
No. But I've spoken to Valentine Holmes, Matt Rogers at the Cronulla Sharks,
Bruce.
Those coastal, teams, it's hard to kick on those coastal towns, particularly at Wynn Stadium. And our best ever kickers, invariably, Halligan, El Masri, Cleary, they're inland.
Oh, inland creatures.
Yes.
You have.
It's a fair case, isn't it?
You are kidding me.
Do you count Cogra as inland?
No, that's
Botany
a bugger
Bay.
to kick from as well.
He kicked a lot of Cogra. Campbelltown's inland, so you can't
Inland
get out of that
creatures.
one.
What was the song Nirvana sang? It's a Misa. That was the term you'd use in a crossword.
Right.
But it's a, what is it called? It's up on a bed there.
Don't know what you're on
Come
Cogra.
on, you put the Dolphins South. We'll contemplate that. We're running out of time. Dolphins South. Bostock gone. I think that's huge for Dolphins. He's been great. Junior Tupe comes in. South Sydney. That's the wrong price. Is that the right price you put up on the screen, Sean? Because there's no way South should be $2.40.
Yeah, we agree.
When they've got Cody Walker back, Campbell Graham back, Peter Mamazelos back in the 14 at this stage. Yes, South have lost their last 4. I could make a case, Sean, and I like the Dolphins a lot, particularly Katoa. I think South, this 17 might be better than the Dolphins 17.
No, I completely agree. And a little tease to what my best bet might be a little later in the show, but I'm very keen on the Bunnies here. Now, you mentioned this is the second leg of a double header, and I think that might actually suit the Bunnies. You can see the team that Wayne Bennett is going to roll out here. It is big. It's an old school forward pack he's running out, and there's some big bodies on the bench as well. The Dolphins, they are undermanned. They've lost a lot of players for the year. There's no Felice Kafusi still. The Bunnies are going to smash them through the middle, and then Cody Walker, Latrell are going to do the rest. I think the Bunnies are almost favourites in the game.
I think you haven't got the flair. I think a South 13 plus would have been coming if he had his way. Quick thoughts from you, please.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was looking up Nirvana songs. Plateau.
I know you weren't listening.
Okay.
Plateau was the song.
I want to get to an ideas committee. So how about your flair for this game? South Sydney versus Dolphins?
Yes, the Hammer, game 100 for him. What a career he's had. 21 tries in his first 50-odd, 42 tries in his next 50, so he's scoring tries. But conceding tries he can do, and that is particularly off kicks. So I'm going both wingers, AJ and Tyron Munro, to combine at $3.30.
Thank you. Alex Johnston, you've led me in beautifully. I'm going to steal Joel's ideas committee. Right, so everyone's had their idea this week about how we celebrate Alex Johnston's record breaking, not record equaling, record breaking try, that because the record breaking is the one, and he's 7 away from breaking it, and we're starting to do the sums, and I think I'm with him. I think he's going to get closer this week. We've got to have enough people at these venues. These have got to be events. These are NRL events. These are not South Sydney events, and it takes me back to when Canterbury and the NRL celebrated Hazem El Masri's last game by allowing all NRL members in for free. This was 2009 against the Warriors. Now, they had the advantage of Accor Stadium, right? You can indulge when you have these big stadiums. Use it to your advantage. And I'm looking at South Sydney's draw, and obviously the problem with a record like this is you don't know when it's going to go. And he could catch fire and do it in 3 weeks the way he's going. And not much you can do about that. Back end of the season, they play Roosters at Allianz. Fine. That's a big venue. They play at Accor and Allianz the 2 weeks before that. What worries me, round 21 is in Gosford.
Yes.
Right? And it would be full. It would be, but I don't want people to miss out on this event. If I'm South Sydney and I'm the NRL, I'm trying to take that back to a core, and we sort out Gosford. We put that we tentatively book a core, and we look after Gosford next year. But the real ideas committee, Joel.
Yeah.
Round 23, Gold Coast on the Gold Coast. With all due respect, I don't think that record should be broken on the coast. I would be going to the coast now. and saying, would you be open to allowing that game, they're out of the mix, the Titans, to be moved to a core stadium Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m? We'll fix you up next year. We'll give you an extra game. We'll put the South game there next year. Would you be open to that idea if he's on the verge coming into that weekend?
I love it. I love that idea. And when you get close, if you could lock in a run at Accor Stadium and just, you know how State of Origin promotions at pubs, free drinks until the first try scored, just free tickets until he gets his try. But one thing I don't want to see, because I'll Bambi this.
Oh, not the running on the field.
No. I don't want to play to ruin it for him. This is such a serious, big achievement. I don't want to see a South Sydney player go through and give him the ball.
Cody to Herbie scenario 2 weeks ago. None of that.
No, and if he gets it, he wants to bat it away. You've got to earn it the right way. You know, this is Ken Irvine, a legend of the game. We can't have the gift.
I've got an easier solution to all of it. If he needs one more and they're on a bus up to Gosford, he's not getting on the bus.
Yeah, I thought of that.
Leave
I thought
it.
Wayne could, but the problem
someone.
is they're in the mix. They're in the mix. If they were out of the running, you could pull that stunt.
Yep.
The one flying the ointment is Broncos at Suncorp. I'm okay with that because it's a big venue and it's going to get a big crowd anyway. The moment like this just deserves a big crowd.
Yeah.
If they storm the field, Tony Lockett, Buddy Franklin style, great. But we just can't have it on a Thursday night in front of 8,000 people.
Very quickly, what I'm having nightmares about this. Alex Johnston, he scores, breaks the record.
Yeah, I know.
They run on the field. The bunker. Oh, no. What do we do? We all go back.
Oh, no.
We got 2 minutes. Melbourne versus Cronulla. Great game Sunday afternoon. Sharks beat the Storm earlier this year. But two stats I discovered. Sharks terrible against top 8 teams, 1-6, and they've only won one of their last 7 at Amy. I remember last year we did that game when they beat Melbourne. It was a great result. Storm have won their last 3. They weren't very good last week, but they were coming off an Origin. Amy Park, they've won 26 of their last 28. Tyron Wishart scored in 3 straight. First try scorer in all but 2 games. Quickly, please, Sean. I think Melbourne might run this up.
Yeah, I don't know. It just looks a smidgen too big, just on face value. I think I've just leaned the way on the Sharkies sugar, but it takes a lot of trust to do so because they've been really poor.
Yeah, the way they can get them, the Sharkies, of course, beat them not so long ago, is on the edges. So this is a concern for Coach Bellamy, Dan and Sean. It is the edges here. Wingers versus the Melbourne Storm. 3 against the Sharks, 2, 5. So they are. You're looking to the player combos there. If you take the 2 wingers who have opposed them, you've won 4 weeks in a row with 2 or more, Dan.
Yeah, and you got Anderson in the centres this week for Alongo on the wing. No Jack Howarth, and his vision. Ronaldo, he was in everything. Oh, and that's interesting. Ronaldo versus Melbourne, they will want to smack him because remember he was in their faces on this Saturday night. My issue, the game we're watching here on Vision Saturday night, this is a daytime game in Melbourne. Daytime Storm is very different to nighttime Storm.
Yes.
And that's why I've got the Storm coming up later in best bets, but your flair,
Quick
please.
flair, almost like we rehearsed that, Shug. I'm going both left wingers, Xavier Coates, Ronaldo Mortalo to score a try. Nice little same game multi.
All right. Oh, good little odds. And then the last game, 4 p.m, Gold Coast, North Queensland. This feels like a same game multi anytime try scorer special because this could have 100 points in this game.
Hope so. We shared in the podcast version, folks. You can get that every week too on your podcasts or through KO or YouTube. You can catch all that there. But I selected the Gold Coast Titans at $18 to score the most tries for the round. Beanie for brain cancer around $1,000 per try goes to the Mark Hughes Foundation.
Nice.
But one of those tries I'd love to see on the left-hand side, this is a big price for mine. They are conceding big time. It is turnstile stuff for the Cowboys on the right-hand side. Both for more. Anytime try scorer.
All right, Jake Clifford back for the Cowboys with Jackson Purdue back to the centres. All right, we're going to wrap things up after this with our best bets. Get them onside. And don't forget, get your beanies at the Grens. They're scarce. So make sure when you get to the Grens, they're the warmest things I've ever worn. And Sportsbet, a reminder, donating $1,000 per try scored in round 17. Sportsbet, God bless them. They've been behind this right from the get-go. Let's do this. Right, I don't know if these are in order. Joel kicks us off.
Staying with the staple, I went away from it last week, boys, but a noted try scorer in an outsider team. And this kid, Tyrone Munro, the last 2 weeks, little kick behind the line.
Yeah.
I love this.
You're going right. You usually go left.
I know.
But I hope you're right going right, Shug, because if he scores, well, then the Bunnies are a little bit closer to have covered the line, plus 4.5. I think they could be favourites in this game. Was going to go head-to-head, but we're buying a little bit of insurance then. South plus 4.5 for me.
Yes. Oh, God, no. Okay, so I'm the anchor. Storm minus 9.5. Now, I think that line's going to get to 10.5, so I'd get in quick. 9.5, daytime Storm, I think is far too good for Cronulla. Now, don't forget, Sunday night, we're back after Matty John's 8:20, our review show. But also, don't forget, and I don't plug this enough, our regular podcast, which drops on Wednesdays, you get about 20 minutes extra content to what you've seen tonight. So we did a whole thing on top try scorer markets, and hopefully we're on the money. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you, Dean.
Get your beanies. See you on Sunday for another edition of Get 'em Onside.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.